Hello and welcome. It's possible you're going to want some blocks right away, and we're going to start in child's pose. So if this position doesn't work for you, pause the video now and create a position that will work. We'll be going to hands and knees afterwards. Otherwise, breathe here, turn the hands upward, slide the pinkies slightly closer together, and pause. Allow the head to rest as best as you can. After a few breaths, come to hands and knees, and you'll bring the right foot forward next to your right hand. And you'll position this foot the right distance so that you can straighten and bend the knee comfortably. You might put your hands on blocks. Consider this like moving the hip back as you flex the foot. Make this action fluid. After you've gone a few times, you'll pause with the right leg straight and you'll flex the foot and you'll breathe. And then you'll position yourself back to hands and knees with the right leg lifted and the knee is bent. You'll start a hip circle here out to the right, towards the shoulder, down towards the other one, and then up behind you. Fit a few of these in. Try not to throw your leg around. After that, knee to belly. Leg straightens behind you, extend it and cross the thighs. So right foot way over to the left and then bring it behind you and then knee to belly, extend the leg straight, cross the thighs, right foot way over to the left and then extend it behind you so you're squared again and come back to hands and knees. Bring the left foot forward outside the left hand. And then again, position the foot so you can go forwards and back as you did on the other side. You may not have to put the foot in the same place. You might not be able to. Don't worry about that. Slowly moving forwards and backwards, and then you'll pause with the foot flexed. And, make sure that knee on the earth isn't in pain in any way. Breathe with the leg straightish. Come back to hands and knees. And now your left leg will be up with the foot flexed and the knee bent. Turn the knee out to the left, bring it towards your shoulder, bring it down towards the other one, and then up again behind you. That's the circle. You'll go a few times. Try not to be too technical about it. Make it fluid so it works for you. And then after you go around, bring the knee towards your belly. And then you'll extend the leg way back. You can do the knee to belly thing a couple of times. It wouldn't hurt. Cross left foot way over to the right. And then square yourself up and bring knee to belly. And then again, extend the leg back, extend it, and then cross. Keep it straight. And then square yourself off and bring the knee down. If you're back in hands and knees, you'll pause here to breathe. If you need to change the position you're in or get any kind of padding or props, now's the time. Set them up. And then bring yourself to a downward facing dog position. Pause to breathe. Won't be here long. Bring your knees back to the earth. Cow pose. Inhale. Exhale. Cat. Find neutral and then press back up to downward facing dog. And then again, bring yourself back to hands and knees slowly, gently. Inhale, cow, belly down, heart forward. Exhale, cat, rounding the spine. Find a fairly neutral space and find downward facing dog again. One more time, bring the knees down. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat, round the spine. Find neutral and downward facing dog. From here, you'll take a few breaths and slowly move forward to plank pose. And then come back to down dog with the right leg way up in the air. And then put the foot down. Move forward to plank pose. Lift the left leg as you're pressing up to down dog, yeah? Extend the leg high up and then put the foot back down next to the other one. Move forward to plank. Bring the knees to the earth. Find a childlike pose, and then move forward in a wave towards an up dog-like shape and then down to the belly. With intention, okay? No floppiness. To child's pose, Flow forward through the spine. Arms are straight. Elbows bend and roll the heart to the earth. Press back to childlike pose. And then again, flow forward, hips, midsection, shoulders, arms are straight, elbows are bending, lower down, heart up to cobra now, and turn to the right and lower down. Lift and then turn over to the left a little bit and lower down. Press back to downward facing dog. Right leg way up in the air. Move the left hand towards the left foot. Try to keep yourself square if you're going to grab the ankle for the first time, a Dharma dog situation. You can also leave the hands about center, okay? It's best if you isolate the lifted leg, so keep firm there. Foot is flexed or pointed. This really depends on you and your foot and how you can stabilize. Slowly bring the left hand back next to the right. Right knee towards right elbow, go wide, and then lift the leg way up. And then from here, bring the right foot forward, the left knee to the earth. You'll be in a low lunge and we're going right into a back bend. If this doesn't work for you, stay in low lunge with your heart lifted. Otherwise, slowly bend the back knee. No yanking. If the foot reaches the hand, great. If not, don't worry about that. Bring left hand to the earth and turn open with the right foot so the knee is bent, left leg is straight, and it comes to a side plank-like situation. Arm can be up or out overhead. Step back to down dog with the right leg way up in the air, and then bring it forward and cross underneath you. So now your right leg is flexed and your left hand, you can grab onto your right shoulder or just lift it a little bit. Try to stay stable through both legs. Come back to downward facing dog. Pause to breathe. Return to hands and knees. Cow, inhale. Cat, exhale. Neutral, and return to downward facing dog. Again, knees to the earth. Inhale, cow, heart forward, maybe chin up. Exhale, cat, round through the spine. Find neutral and lift to downward facing dog. Slowly raise your left leg upwards. Stabilize. Bring the right foot to a warrior one-like position and start to slowly move your right hand. You can leave the hand in between here, it's about halfway, or slowly move it towards the ankle. Remember to stabilize the other leg and of course your left arm, your center. If you're planning on moving from here, which you'll have to because we're going to, stabilize the legs as you slowly move the right hand back where it was. Bring your left foot forward, right knee to the earth. Move into back bend of choice. Here you can see that I'm slowly bending the knee and taking my left hand to my right foot. This is not required, this is monkey pose. You can do any shape of back bend. Low lunge is a fantastic place to work and learn from. Make sure you're in a position you can still breathe. Haha, make sure to laugh if you wobble. And then from here, right hand to the earth. You're going to turn your left toes open, right leg to side plank-like shape. Stretch arm overhead or upwards. It really depends on how you're feeling stabilized and comfort and you can still breathe. From here, downward facing dog with the left leg way up. Extend, lift, stabilize. Bring left knee over to the right, cross underneath. Pause here, kind of like plank, or take that right hand to the left shoulder. Breathe, pause, stabilize. Make sure to put that hand back down if you feel like you're going to wobble. It will help a lot. I know, we're still here. Yes. 2 hands to the earth. Left leg up in the air. I know, I know. Left knee, left elbow. Bet you thought I forgot. It's cool, it happens. Leg way up. 2 feet to the earth, down dog. Wave forward to hands and knees, and then cow, inhale, cat, exhale, and return to downward facing dog. Yeah? Knees to the earth, hips to heels, or some other shape where you can breathe. Pause. From here, right foot forward like we did at the beginning of class. Right leg straightish. And then bend into it again. Bend the back knee. Try not to yank. If you're going to reach for the foot, see if it's there. Reach wide with the chest. Have that be the priority. 2 hands to the earth. You're going to tuck the back toes and lift the knee. Turn the heel to a warrior 2 shape. And here we are in extended side angle variation. Now you're going to move your left arm around in smooth circles. Your right hand might get a block. Go ahead and grab it. You probably already have. Extend overhead with the arm. And then behind you, if you want a little extra stretch, 2 hands to the earth. Turn the back heel up. Step back to downward facing dog. Pause. Press through the fingertips, but lift up through the hips. Keep your center stable. Slow rise of the left leg. Press down with the hands. You bend the knee if you want. Slow rise of the right leg. Again, stabilize the hands. Bend the knee if you want. Notice where the mobility is. Notice where the stability is. Haha, I said that funny. 2 feet to the earth. Come back to hands and knees, and then sit back on your heels. Pause, breathe. Notice how you feel. From here, left foot forward. Slowly bend in the back knee. Left arm reaches back. You can bend the knee more here. Just try not to yank. Make sure you can feel this in the muscle and you're not just bending your back knee for a look. 2 hands to the earth. Tuck the back toesies. Lift the knee. Flatten the heel like warrior 2. You might have to change your stance, especially if you're on uneven ground like I am. Left hand could be on a block or inside the foot or outside the foot. If it's outside the foot, it's more challenging to move the shoulder around like I am, but you do you, yeah? You can use a block to try that out. Extend overhead. Do your smooth circles. Any little extra stretch you feel like you want or need here through the fingers, the hand, the wrist. 2 hands to the earth. Turn the back heel up. Step back now to plank and then to down dog. Pause to breathe. From here, we're coming down to a dolphin pose, elbows to the earth. If you want to bring your knees down first, go ahead. Just make sure you can get an incline from your elbows to your shoulders to your hips versus trying to stack up and then ending up bending at the waist. It's just a different entry. So experiment. You'll be there a few more breaths and then you'll come down. Make sure you don't feel lightheaded or anything like that. Sit back on your heels. Move your right shoulder around here with the arm straight. So arm up, stretch back, turn from the shoulder so the thumb then turns down, and bring it by your side and forward and in front of you. So you're trying to stay on a pretty close plane to the body. If you've never done this before, don't be rigid about it. Move the arm. If you've done this before, slow it down. See if you can explore a new part of the arm, elbow or shoulder, or even the wrist you'll feel. And then move into the other side. Arm up, turn the hand, and then turn from the shoulder so the thumb starts to point down. Rotate the arm, a few times. If you have to change it a little bit, especially if you've never done this before, watch my shoulder here and then again here. Yeah? Experiment. Do both sides. Do them about the same amount of rotations. And then pause. Arms up, palms press forward, wrists are bent, and then turn the fingertips down towards the earth to the extent of what will work for your hands. From there, bend at the wrists, bend at the elbows, and then open forwards and out to the sides. And behind you, turn the fingertips down and then up again and open. Rotate the arms so they're now by your waist. You might have to do this a few times. It's just shoulder rotation. Pause the video if it's new. So palms come forward again, arms are straight, fingertips point towards the earth. Palms up, arms up, bend at the elbows, bring hands behind head. From here, slowly keep the spine tall. Try not to have a bend in the back. Hands to the shoulders and move your shoulders around in circles. So your elbows are drawing circles to your sides. And then after about 5 or so, or maybe even 10, go the other direction. Try not to move too quickly. It can be a little agitating on the neck. And then you'll open and close the elbows like a big old book. So bring them in front and then as far behind you as you can, and in front and behind you. After all these rotations, fingertips to the earth and flatten the hands slowly. You can come up onto the knees if it's more comfortable, as you see I'm doing here. And then slowly come back to your seat as you bend the elbows. Arms straight in front. Imagine you're grabbing ice cream cones with your fingers. It's like a wave with the hand. Don't be technical. Just move all the fingers, move the whole hand, move one way then the other, and then shake all that business out. A little bit the arms. And then from here, come back to your hands and your knees. Make sure that you can move your hairstyle if you need to, because we're moving into traditional headstand. So not tripod. You're going to arrange the top of your head at the very base, in between your wrists. Your fingers are gripping each other and you slowly stack up. You walk in like dolphin, and we're not going into a full feet up thing. We're going into the egg shape. So bring one knee in and then the other knee in. Maybe do one at a time and hold, or as you see here, I'm doing both. There's a flex of the feet and then a point of your little toesies, and just try to balance. Use your arms a lot. There's a pressure down as you lift the hips up. If you feel like you're going to fall, bring your feet back to the earth and find child's pose. As you can see, it's not the easiest thing to do. Give yourself a pause. Rest the head. Turn the palms up to the earth. Notice the air on your skin, no matter where you're practicing. Breathe. Wiggle out the fingers. From here, come back to a seat. And we're going to rearrange with the right foot forward again, like lizard. Draw the right leg straightish, okay? So half splits. Your hands can be on the inside of the foot, on blocks. You can be one on either side of the foot. If it's really hard to use your arms and your hands here, use some blocks or shorten the stance a little bit. Allow the right leg to be stable in a way where you can feel stability all the way up the leg, from the heel to the hip. And then try to maintain your spine in a way where you can feel like you're sticking your hips a little bit back and you're trying to extend the spine away from the hips, as if someone were holding your hips there. You don't have to be rigid, but just try and get the feeling of extension front to back. And then make sure you can still breathe, okay? This is kind of important. You might use blocks here if you haven't yet. Left hand on blocks, your right arm up into the air, like a twist, because there is a twist. Try not to move the hips too much. Naturally, they're attached, so they might move a little bit. Flex the right foot, breathe there, and then bring the hand down. Slide the foot back far enough that you can bend into the knee comfortably, right? And then you'll hands down, but lift the back leg up and slowly come into your seated spinal twist. Spine up, inhale, twist to the right, exhale. You can hug the knee like I am here. This is my preferred shape for this pose, but you choose. You can hook the elbow too. It's really not the most important detail. You really need to feel height and breath. Slowly twist to the other direction. I like to do an exhale there. And stay tall, especially if you always bow. Just try staying tall here. And we're coming from here to Gomukhasana. And what I like to do here, I'll demonstrate, is I like to stack my knees and then slowly sit in between my feet. And then it's possible that you might sit on something or adjust the feet or both. From here, I'm going to take a little bit of a hold to my toes. You can hold your feet, your heels, your toes, your ankles. It doesn't really matter where you hold on. I'm doing a rather traditional hold, which I really like. And it is a 2-finger hold around the big toe. Try to keep your spine tall, but again, it's more important that you can breathe in the shape that you've chosen to be in, okay? If this is hurting the knees, it's a no-go. We do something else, a figure 4, okay? Stay to breathe. This is one of those shapes where it changes in the same time frame, if that makes sense. A lot of shapes, it takes day to day, week to week. I think that, at least in my personal experience, this one in particular, you can feel a shift rather quickly. Allow the eyes to be closed here, especially if this is very new. Follow any sensations that you've never experienced, or maybe you have experienced and you haven't really explored. Just pay attention to where they originate from, where they go to, how long they are, how wide they are. Be simple about it, yeah? Allow the eyes to flutter open, but stay in the shape. We're still here together. Bring the hands to the knee. Pause. Breathe. Hands to the heart. Pause. Breathe. Notice. Be in the space you just carved out. From here, you'll slowly bring your right leg all the way around behind you. You can use blocks, or you can do the mobility float that I just attempted there, okay? You want to be able to arrange your hips without too much rigidity. So lift yourself up if you have to arrange for the back knee especially. No dragging the knee around. If the back knee hurts, you sit on something. Doesn't matter how flexible you are. You need to sit on something, probably on both sides, or maybe just the opposite knee. The opposite hip. Outside of that, if this pose hurts the knee in any way, you need to address that. We don't take a shape that hurts. We're breathing. Try not to just sink. Even if you're very close to the ground, allow the ground to press you back up. Respond. Breathe. Notice if your mind is wandering off. Allow yourself to be here. Allow yourself to be here. Notice the air as you slowly inhale to rise. Try not to be in a rush. Sometimes the sensations are provide for us to feel like we need to rush, but we don't. We just have to get used to it. Tuck the back toes, press into the hands, lift up into downward facing dog. With the left leg way up, tip the hip open, bend the knee. You can stay there or straighten your right leg so you can come into a side plank flip dog, wild thing situation. Come back to down dog, 2 feet on the earth. Return to hands and knees. Have a seat on the heels. Breathe, pause. Hands to the earth, left foot forward. We're taking that half split shape, so my hands are inside the ankle. You can do either side of the ankle. Remember, if you use blocks on the other side, you might want to use them here. As I just showed you, you can have the knee a little bit bent. You want straight-ish. You want to feel that there's something happening versus you pressing the legs straight. There's no need for that. Keep the length in the spine, the leg, the foot, the arms. I know, I just named the whole body pretty much. How about you pick one and move from there? Try your center. Try your center. The belly would go up and wide. And we'll move into the twist here. Stabilize the legs first. Right hand down, left arm upwards in a twist from the waist forward. Try not to be too rigid with the hips, but you know, if you're really leaning to one side or the other, you want to notice that. Breathe. Extend from the center outward. Stabilize with the top of the right foot there too. Hands to earth. Left knee bends. Lift the right leg way up like standing splits and slowly tuck the knee behind the ankle. Arrange yourself in your chosen seated spinal twist shape. You can straighten the bottom leg. If that's for you, you probably already know that and you probably already did that. If you've never heard that before, you can. Try it out. You can do it in the next shape too, so don't worry about missing out on anything. Keep the spine tall in your twist. Breathe and try to feel both hips on the earth. The hand behind you, keep it rather close so you don't feel like you're leaning back on it. I feel like that will add some stability, especially if it's hard for you to feel stable in a shape. Bring the hand closer or put a block under it. Set up for your cow face pose, Go Mukhasana. You can stack the knees like I did before while you lift up, or as you see here, I I stack those with my hands. And I slowly opened my shins and my calves. And then again with the hold. Choose a hold that works. If this hurts one of your knees, please change the shape. Otherwise, spine tall. If you really want to fold, you can do that, but if you always fold, try it this way too. Especially since this is a little bit more of an advanced practice, you might want to try some of the things that you consider to be remedial, because they're not. Have you ever noticed that the most simple thing is actually the most complicated to do, or the hardest to do, because it's actually simple? Anyhow, breathe. See if you can lift the top of your head without tipping the chin up. Notice your sensations, follow them. Hands to the knees. Allow this to help you ground. There's a little bit of a resistance stretch that I can teach you. You just have to talk to me about that one. Reference this video or send it to me when you email me, okay? Hands to the heart, remember, breathe. Breathe. Notice the air on you. Notice how the eyelids feel. Try to keep your gaze soft as you move through your poses too. If you've never done that before, it is a fantastic way to really refine your drishti. Drishti being the view you take, yeah, Slowly begin to lean over to the right if you've never done this float of the leg around to the back. Set up for your pigeon pose in a way that you're not dragging the knee around. See how I just lifted up there? That's what you want to work on. If this is new for you, especially, your hands are on blocks and both of your hips are sitting on something. If you've never done these little moves before, use the props. It's not a beginner's thing to use the props. In fact, I've noticed that most advanced students use props. You can bow, you can rest, you can do sleeping pigeon, as I like to call it. Just take that notice, right, of where you're sinking into the earth. You want to keep some kind of stability. If you are being forced into like a back bend here in your resting pigeon, you're going to want to support your abdomen. There's nothing wrong with you and your body. This is just something that tends to happen with a fairly flexible body. It's something that I used to have. And as I'm watching this, I can see that it's taken some years, but it's not there anymore. So I can tell you that it works. Support the abdomen. Make sure to shift the shape from a lifted space, like I said before. Like, let's say right now we're here a little longer than you're used to. Come up slowly versus thinking, I have to change the shape, yeah? If you're still down, inhale to rise. Hands are flat, tuck the back toesies. Prepare yourself, yeah, to lift the right leg in down dog. You can stay there, or you're going to wild things. So your left leg is going to be straight, like side plank. So move forward towards plank as you bring your right foot behind you. Keep a lift. It's a back bend. Slowly hand to earth and then do the leg. Back to down dog. Knees to earth. Child's pose. Breathe. Rest. I know. We're moving. We're changing what we're doing. Slowly bring yourself up. Address the knees, the hips, and then widen the knees some here. Little mini back bend. From here, slowly rise. Prepare yourself for some back bends. So you'll turn over. We're going to start in a seated position. Hook the right thigh and move your shin around in circles. Left leg could be bent or straight, doesn't matter. Just keep the spine tall and move the leg. Put the right leg down and do the left. Don't be too serious about it. Go one direction and then the other direction. I like to flex my foot here myself, but you could point. It's just a little uncomfortable. I think flexing is more comfortable, but try. Just remember, rigidity is not your friend. And then lay down on your back. Have your feet about as wide as your mat. Keep them there as you rock right knee down and left knee down. It's for the hips, okay? So rock. If you're in the park, be sure to always check your surroundings. That's what I'm doing here. Keep your hips rocking. Do a couple more. And we're going to move into Urdhva Dhanurasana. If you prefer bridge pose, I support you in your quest. Do bridge. But from here, if you're coming into Urdhva, hands by the head, press down with the hands, exhale to lift. Keep the feet stable. Keep the hands where they are. Activate the legs. If you're ready for it, you know you. Slowly move the hands towards the feet. Feet stay flat. I know. If you're not sure what I said, pause and look. Feet stay flat. Look for a little bit of cobra. Eventually your eye gaze is going towards your fingertips. That's how you get your cobra shape. Walk the hands back out and then slowly lower down. Pause to reset. Pause to reset. See, the rocking of the hips thing is very nourishing. Just if it's bothering your back, you might have walked your hands in a little bit too quickly or pressed your low back upwards. So watch that. Reset yourself. I like to exhale to rise into my urdhva. You might have to experiment. If you get dizzy in any way, it's too much for you. Okay? Urdhva push-ups, do 1 or 2 and stay there. Or I like to put my head down and then put my elbows down and then lift my head back up. And then here, head down. Undo the hands, press down with the hands, lift the head. So you're back in your urdhva. And then I did do a couple of urdhva push-ups here. Make sure you're very slow about this, especially if this is new. Do 1 or 2. Yeah, not the 10 that I'm doing here. And if you've never done a backbending series like this, come down, press pause, and then redo urdhva to elbows. Otherwise, elbows back down, breathe. Think cobra. And then after you've been there, hands flat, walk back out again. And then slowly move your head in between your wrists so it's backwards to lower down. This way you won't end up in your low back. Leave yourself there on the earth with the feet flat. You can knock the knees together, widen the feet. Hands might be on the belly. You can do the rocking. After my back bending, I like to hold my hips and actually use my hands a little bit to rock my hips. Again, if any of these self-adjustments are bothering you, it's not for you to increase any kind of pressure. It means you're pushing or yanking or pressing. Just be a little more gentle. And then bring yourself to a still position to pause. Right knee to belly, grab it. And then you'll switch here. So if you want to lift and stay lifted, I get you. I do that, as you see. You can also leave your head and shoulders down. But if you're very flexible, it is important for you to do a little bit with the belly and the abs after doing a deep back bend, especially if it's new for you. Try not to round the shoulders too much though, okay? After you've done some of this, let's do a simple twist. Knees to chest. Bring the knees way over to the left side. You can stack them. You can put a block underneath them. You might turn your head over to the right, but if it bothers your neck and shoulders, guess what? Don't do it. When you choose to switch sides, pause center. Allow yourself to be there for a moment, and then slowly bring the knees over to the other side and place them according to this side. Maybe turn your head opposite the knees, or maybe not. Allow yourself to actually breathe and not just think about breathing. Notice the space in between when you're full of breath and completely empty. Return to your back. And as you see here, I'm giving my neck a little bit of love. One hand behind the head, and I'm cross-reaching. You can do that or do both hands as I'm demonstrating here. Feet are flat. It's a little bit for the abs, but it's also for the back of your neck and shoulders. And then you can reach in between the legs and bring the hands behind you, and then the arms very wide. Hands overhead, arms wide, and do a circular motion here. Head is stable but not rigid. You can open and close like an angel would, or go up, overhead, and then around. Whatever you've chosen, do both directions a couple of times. Bring yourself to a seat. Do a little bit of a seated twist, one side and then the other. No need to rush. The seat is not rigid. Now bring yourself to feet flat, knees together. Hug yourself so much. Hug yourself. Rest the head on what you can rest the head on. If you can't reach, bring your forearms to you. Widen the back, the shoulders, belly in, feet flat. Hug and love yourself. And from here, a hugging twist. Left arm around the knees, grab the shin. Twist, right hand behind you. And then to the other side. Keep your spine tall. Keep the knees as close as you can, but do make sure you can still breathe. Turn forward. Pause. Sit. See. Notice. Feet together, Baddha Konasana, knees wide. If this is not comfortable for you, choose another forward fold. Walk the hands forward, put them on the earth, put them on a block. You can put your head down on something, maybe your hands. Just allow yourself to be. It's a forward fold. If it hurts the knees, please choose something else. Otherwise, allow yourself to rest. Noticing what you notice, breathing as deeply as you can. Be in the space that you've carved out. Notice the distance you have from everything else that's going on. You deserve the space. Every day, a little bit. Come to a seat. Prepare yourself to lay down in the position that works for you today. You can rock your way down. You can come to traditional Shavasana. You can come to Supta Baddha Konasana, feet together, knees wide. Or knees together, feet flat, feet as wide as the mat. Shoulders on the earth, back of heart on the earth, skull on the earth. Notice the weight of your eyes in your skull. Breathe, rest. Eyes are closed. Be here. Be here. If you think about anything, try to notice the air touching you. The thinking is normal. Don't worry. Rest will come. Rest will come. The more present you are, the better the rest will be. Notice your breathing. Any sensations. Allow yourself a moment to thank yourself for being in your body, being on this earth, for carving out the time to respect. All my love, thank you for being here. Thank you, thank you, thank you.